Hello, everyone. Welcome to this section about unleashing the power of the new Boomi API management solution. I'm here to talk about our expertise and how we reflected what the market needs were. Without further ado, I would like to present the Boomi Enterprise platform. As we know, there have been quite a lot of developments within Boomi as a company, and one of the latest development is around the API landscape. We have coupled as Apida with Boomi to bring with Boomi the expertise of API management, global API management, federated API management. So just to give you an introduction about the Boomi landscape, now we are having on top of the integration platform that was already a strong point of Boomi, we have brought in the gateways, the developer portal, and the API control plane. As you can see here, the idea is to cover different use cases that we have found on the market and be able to support the market, the industries during their different stages of evolution that they might have within the API management landscape. For that in particular, I wanted to touch base on the Boomi API control plane, which is a platform that we have developed in Apida, which then was introduced in Boomi to help with what has become a very complex landscape when we talk about API management. As I mentioned, we are going to look at use cases to understand better how Boomi can help with the different needs that arise. What is wrong with the current API management infrastructure or landscape? First of all, we have to understand that there is a massive rapid growth of APIs within the industry globally. So every time we talk to customers, we notice that a lot of questions are around, the scope of the APIs, how many APIs you have in your environment. This is really hard to quantify for some companies. Also, some companies, a lot of companies, some, like 99% of the companies, they reach a stage where they have multiple types of APIs. These could be APIs that deal with asynchronous requests, APIs that are server-side event-driven APIs, and other such APIs. Another use case is to support for legacy systems, so old APIs, old systems that require a more up-to-date APIfication. Also, given the fact that companies are coming and going and there is merger, there is split, you need to have a very elastic way of doing things, agile way of doing things. So you need new working environments, you need a way to adapt to change. Another big thing is the long time to market. We have noticed that as time progresses, as the API landscape increases, the API environments increase within a company, there is also a requirement to be fast, to get to the market really quickly. And so this is another necessity for certain verticals. And we have noticed that having all these requirements, that leads to having a having a lack of proper API product management and incomplete documentation, and API security and governance. And this is where the big problem is, because you have to comprehend that an API is the doorway to your infrastructure. That is how many attack vectors happen. So via API calls, APIs that have been left, either shadow APIs or just simple zombie APIs, just old APIs, really. So this is where we come in, and we try to help with our expertise to help manage those security requirements, help with management of the API lifecycle, and be aware of what, the loose ends. So what we help with here is with the discovery of APIs and their specifications. So the tool is able to scan API gateways within the infrastructure and identify which APIs reside on those API gateways. It also helps with the management of API keys and the API plans linked to those API keys for the relationship with the APIs that they are going to consume. You can gather analytics data, provide a way of migrating APIs as well. And I think a great point is to scan also APIs for security and quality issues. So the tool has a way of checking against spectral OWASP and spectral open API specification to check certain rule sets, all the rule sets actually by default. You can switch them on and off as you wish. You can add more if you require. But the idea is that the tool enables you to have a first scan of the Open API document that has been posted and check for vulnerabilities. And last but not least, we are developing a tool that enables you to create an API on any platform. We are working on an open proxy specification. It's a YAML-based language, let's say, that enables you to specify descriptive language that enables you to describe what your API needs to do. And when I mean describe, it means the functionalities of the API, meaning where is the backend, what is the URL path linked to that API, what are the methods, is there a description, is there a Swagger document connected to it? If so, what is the link to that Swagger document? And also, what are the capabilities, what kind of authentication is needed, and things like that. So once you have put that in a YAML file, you're able to push that YAML file to the control plane. Now it's open source, so hopefully in the future you can use any tool you require, you prefer, to push it, and in an agnostic way, it can then be pushed onto another a gateway of your choice. And you know that since the description is yours, one, the intellectual property is yours, is written in an agnostic way, so it's not vendor locked. And on top of that, you can push it anywhere you want. And I think this is really important nowadays when you will be finding yourself that you might want to swap a gateway from one type to another, either because of pricing or relationship with a vendor or whatever reason, or just internal differentiation. You don't have to be vendor locked. You have a way of doing it agnostically. We have spoken with different people around the industry, and by taking some hints, we have noticed that we can achieve by having a good management and automation, we can achieve a 40% increase in time to market or decrease in time to market of the APIs. So you are faster on promoting those APIs that you need to. You also are able to completely detach yourself from the onboarding of partners. So with the full self-service experience, so you can focus on what is important. Out of the box support for all major API runtime. This is important for this federated API management concept, whereby from in one tool you have a holistic view of all your APIs on all your landscape, which means in return a reduced duplicated effort when running multiple API runtime, because and we've seen it that we can achieve up to 80%, meaning there are a lot of duplications when you have different environments. And with this tool, you can spot those duplications very quickly. And across the landscape, you can fully enforce the security policies that you have decided to have across your company and across your API strategy, and not just for specific ones. You know that you have a unified process, you have a unified view, so you can shift left with this, in other words. This I'm going to touch very briefly on the architecture of the control plane. The control plane, the solution that we have in place is a SaaS solution, and it comprises of a control plane section, which is SaaS, as mentioned, and then agents that reside within your architecture, so safe, and they are the ones who are talking to the gateway. Not only that, but they are also the ones who talk to the control plane, meaning that there is no requirement to open bridges into your network, because the agent is the one that is doing the talking and not the control plane towards the agent is starting the talking. And you can have different developer portals. You have an admin portal for yourself to understand your landscape, and then developer portals to help your partners be onboarded and create those API keys and market your APIs to them. Why is that important to be able to create? So we are going to touch now on different use cases. So the use cases that we see that we managed to touch on are, first of all, brand shops. Many customers, many industries, and many companies have different sub-companies. Well, an example would be Fiat Chrysler, where Fiat Chrysler has Fiat, Alfa Romeo, Chrysler Jeep, and all of them are niches on their own. And although the IT infrastructure, the API landscape is common, the type of API app developers, and the departments, they are federated. So you have the ones for, let's say, they are the ones for Fiat, the ones for Alfa Romeo, and they want their own set of APIs, and they want their own portal that actually is branded as the brand that they represent. So this actually allows you to do so. Another big, massive, if not the main use case here is the other way around, in the sense that you have, after different acquisitions or just different discussions, different departments, they might have different API gateways: Azure, AWS, APIscene, Broadcom, WSO2, Boomi, and you need a unified view over your API landscape so that you can then organize your API marketplace and have a lean governance. So the tool that we offer, the solution that we offer, is actually tailored for that use case. So enable you to have this holistic view over all your landscape. So last but not least, since we are actually, uh, you know, we are experts of our field, and we have been working in the API sector for so long. I myself, I have 13 years experience in the API management area, and this is just me. Then all my colleagues are, some of them have even more experience. We decided to come up with a tool that could enable a company to address what their landscape looks like, what level of management they have, what level of control they have over their API landscape. So we have this API management maturity assessment, which is a questionnaire. It's really quick, it's 10 minutes, multiple choice. There is no obligation whatsoever at the end of it. It is tailored for the benefit of the industry, because we understand that first and foremost, you must be able to understand your strength, your weaknesses, points that where you cannot improve and you should improve. So what we offer is under Boomi.com API Management Maturity Assessment, a means for you to gauge your readiness, your API management maturity. So all you need to do is to go on there, answer a few questions, and then you will get this spider diagram where you will have an understanding of where you are on the different aspects of API management. So as you can see here, this is an example where I have created. This is just a mock example. I have created it, and I've just answered questions a bit randomly. And you can see that in my randomness, I have very little maturity. My organization, my fake organization, has a very low maturity score, a very average time to market, and so on and so forth. At that point, from then on, you can address those points. You can go back to your management meeting. I have a management meeting regarding those points and understand, what needs to be done in order to improve your API management experience. And with that, I conclude my presentation. Thank you for being here with me, and I hope these tools and these visions have helped, and that what I have been able to transmit can help you having a much better API management experience and help your company being successful.